Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm still Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I've presented probably about 925 lectures. It's been a great privilege to present this and be in your presence. I really enjoy this, and I'm so happy to be here with you. I like to say I've been licensed to walk upon the earth since 1941, so I'm going on 83 years of age. And I've been licensed to practice clinical psychology in the state of California since 1974. So I've been doing this a long time as a psychologist, and I've been walking on the earth for a long time, and I hope to do more of it. Trying to do all I can. Staying alive is a full-time job. I'm staying here as best I can. The title of today's talk is The Honor Coach, Honor Above Winning. The Honor Coach, Honor Above Winning. I want to dedicate this to my daughter Laylee's fiance, Jesus Angel, who came up with the term honor coach. I was talking about the honor athlete. He said, what about the honor coach? I said, oh, great idea. So we were having a meal together, and I said, well, I'll present this Tuesday, and I'm going to dedicate this to you. Now, I have 7 children. 4 of them have been involved heavily in athletics. I have 5 grandchildren. 2 of them are very heavily involved with athletics. I was very heavily involved with athletics in high school, and then I've been an athlete all my life, and I've competed over my 60s up to 70 years of age. And a coach can have a huge impact on the team players' lives. And I remember I had Coach Volpe. He coached us in soccer and in lacrosse. I played soccer, lacrosse, tennis, and wrestling. And I never forgot him. Then I loved the guy. There was some kind of he just has a huge impact. And I had Coach Gugliana. Okay, you know, I mean, there were some others that I had. My wrestling coach, it wasn't a real positive influence. Another coach in lacrosse had a couple of coaches. Coach Volpe, I remember to this day. I love him. I just wish I could see him again. Lovely, wonderful human being. So the coach can have a huge impact. And as I'm a world champion powerlifter and bodybuilder. I took the title when I was 65, strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and weight. And I've set 2 world records, 2 different federations. So and then bodybuilding, I competed many times in bodybuilding contests, became a world champion bodybuilder at age 70. Let me tell you, I've met some great athletes. And I'm really so happy I could compete in these ways and train and meet. You know, I went to my 50th high school reunion. The people I felt the greatest connection to were the guys on the teams. We'd see them, and there was some kind of special connection between us. So athletics is extremely important in life, and the coach is extremely important. But let me tell you what was never there. Nobody, and I mean nobody, not the coach, not my team members, ever told you how to lose with dignity. Never told us how do you lose with dignity. I'm not saying being a good loser. I'm just saying lose with dignity. You know, you're competing. If it's one-on-one sport, wrestling, whatever, one wins, one loses. It's a team, one wins, one loses. Half the people lose. Half the people lose and don't know how to lose with dignity. I'm here to correct that. I'm here to correct that. And no one told us how to win with dignity and humility, which means being humble in victory. To win with dignity means to be humble, not boastful. Look at me, something that. I mean, that's like jungle stuff. That's fine, but I wouldn't call it winning with dignity. Wasn't there. Well, I'm here to help correct that with the honor coach. We have the honor athlete, and we'll talk. Now, the honor athlete, we already have that established. We have a number of videos on it. And to be an honor athlete, our honor athletes take this pledge. I pledge by all that is sacred to me that I will not use my knowledge and power for unjust causes, but only use it for constructive and honorable purposes. I am an honor athlete. It's a different attitude. Now then you have the parents of athletes. Over the recent years, the parents become violent. They don't like a call from the umpire, or they don't like what the referees things. I mean, nurse practitioner Bert showed me today people just punching each other out and punching the umpire. I mean, the people are getting violent. The parents are really adding to the problem. So we have then a pledge to be an honor parent. I pledge by all that is sacred to me that I will do all in my power to encourage my child to place honor above winning. I am an honor parent. Set a different tone to it. Of course, I'm not saying we don't want to win. Win, you play to win, that's fine. You play to win, that's fine. By the way, the call of the honor athlete, the way of honor in athletics, is humble in victory, strength by defeat. Humble in victory, strength by defeat. We get strong when we lose. We tend to come back much stronger than ever. We're more motivated. And then to stay humble when we win. Now, here's the pledge for the honor coach. I pledge by all that is sacred to me that I will always place honor above winning. And I will do all in my power to bring the way of honor to all my athletes. Humble in victory, strength by defeat. I am an honor coach. Different world. And we look up to our athletes. This just sets a different tone to life. Now, get this. Then we have at the end of the game, when you see the victors are always going, yeah, you know, look at the Super Bowl. I would watch that, the ending. They were just jumping and hugging each other and kissing each other just all over, dumping water over the coach, whatever, just so happy. But they showed the guys that lost. 49ers, they filmed them. They were going to cry. It felt so awful. You could see they were depressed. I mean, they were depressed for that moment. And really, they weren't happy. They were miserable. Miserable. Grown men crying. They looked like they felt embarrassed and shamed. There's no dignity in that. We're here to correct that. So the winners and the losers face each other, two teams. And then the ones that are defeated have the hand like this. We salute you in your victory. You inspire us to come back much stronger than ever. We salute you in your victory. You inspire us to come back much stronger than ever. Powerful, dignified. The winner says, we salute you in your determination. You inspire us to be humble in victory. We salute you in your determination. You inspire us to be humble in victory. How hard is that? So if you have wrestling, you can have all the ones who lost line up facing all the ones who are victorious, and they salute each other that way. And then they say, instead of we salute you, I salute you in your victory. You inspire me to come back much stronger than ever. And the winner, I salute you in your determination. You inspire me to be humble in victory. So on a one-on-one sport, facing each other. As opposed to you spitting on your hand and wiping your hand on as you're passing each other, whatever. I mean, it's a whole different way of life. Whole different way of life. There's a lot to be said to losing with dignity, because half the people will lose. Half will lose. A lot to be said. You might be victorious today, and you might lose tomorrow. So this is, as it is now, win by any means necessary. Win by any means necessary at all costs. Now it's honor by any means necessary. Honor above all else. Of course, you want to do all you can to play your best game and win. But honor is a priority to that. Now, I remember seeing an example or reading a case of somebody of what honor was there. It was a softball game, women's softball game. And this one girl knocked a home run, and when she started, she twisted her ankle, couldn't move. The opposing team picked her up and carried her on her shoulders through the bases and walked her through the bases. That's bringing honor into the game. That's memorable. Memorable. In Iran, they call their elite wrestlers, they have many champions, they're amazing wrestlers, pahlavan. So a pahlavan is trained to be a real gentleman. So I remember hearing about this one match where his opponent hurt his left arm. He was playing against the champion. So the champion didn't use his left arm, he just wrestled with his right arm and legs. Didn't use his own left arm. He still defeated him. I mean, I was calling it this. That's memorable. Otherwise, you just forget these things. They have athletes that kept a good attitude during the Babe Ruth. He struck out a lot of times. He was the home run king. He said, I'm happy to strike out. Every time I strike out, it brings me one step closer to my home run. That's a good attitude towards his failure. The path to success is paved with failure. The path to success is paved with failure. But we want to be able to fail and lose with dignity. And how was that achieved? Through honor. Well, that's what I wanted to present to you. The honor coach, honor above winning. And with the intention of bringing this program, in fact, my goddaughter Tracy brought it to the honor athlete concept, presented to the school board in San Bernardino, and it's being very seriously considered. So our idea is to bring all of this to the people, the way of honor. And in the honor movement, we do these things at different programs. We don't ask for donations. We don't accept donations. No one has any power, so the organization can't be corrupted. There's no money and power in it. And it's set up with sustainers. We have the leaders in the honor movement. They're the sustainers. The idea is for the honor movement to continue for centuries to come. So there's a therapy model where I use it, make my livelihood, and I serve my patients, my wonderful, beautiful patients. But then the honor movement is to bring into the world, into society. And part of that is bringing honor into athletics. When I was on the team, they just turned us loose. This is how you train. This is we train hard. Not one word was ever said about anything philosophical, psychological, spiritual. I mean, nothing, nada, nothing. Well, that's not really acceptable. Now we're time for a change. Well, it's been my pleasure to present to you the honor coach, honor above winning.
What do you think of these coaches that get in the faces of referees
Yeah, it was asked the same thing with the honor parents. The coaches that get in the face of the referees or on the playing field really get in their face and screaming. That's why we have the honor coach. I mean, that's what goes on right now. Just another example of lack of dignity and hooliganism, thuggism. I mean, it's the best you could say is entertaining, but it's not uplifting. It's not inspiring. It's degrading. It's just degrading.
Players that beat up their girlfriends.
Then, of course, because they just extended into the personal lives, we have well-paid athletes being paid tens of millions of dollars, beating up their girlfriends and abusing people, using their power for unjust causes. That's why there's a pledge to be an honor athlete. I will only use my knowledge and power for constructive and honorable purposes. I am an honor athlete. That's why we have that, to just get around all of that. So our athletes and our coaches truly can become a role model. They're not role models now. They're role models what we don't want in society. We don't want that. When they follow the way of honor, then they deserve the title of role model. Thanks for those questions, Hugh. Okay, now I'm going to open up to all you wonderful people. I want to get any comments or questions. Keep in mind that when we put these videos out, people say, they benefit. You're going to benefit as much or more from listening to each other as hearing from me, maybe even more. So what you say, or any question you have, or any comment is very, very important. So I'm opening up any kind of question or comment you would like to make.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Who's speaking? Is that
Hi,
you?
this is Tracy.
Tracy. Good.
Hi. I really like that you brought this up, especially going from the coach's perspective, because if the coaches are supposed to lead, and if they are teaching and leading their athletes to be better athletes and to be winners, the coaches first need to lead by example and show and guide the way.
Exactly. That's exactly why I recognize the importance when Jesus said, "Hey, what about the honor coach?" I go, "Wow." Yeah, and then when I sent it to you, you were very responsive to it. Right now, there's a lot of pressure to win, especially when there's a lot of money involved. And it's great to win, but if you win and without honor, you're a loser. When I say win at all costs necessary, people will cheat or use steroids, even though they're supposed to be drug-free. Whatever you can get away with, you'll do it. And that's because all that matters is winning. We want to bring honor into this, so that to truly win, to win and be honorable is far better than to just win. To win with honor is far superior to winning with dishonor. No comparison. And we could do this. This wouldn't be, once people subscribe to this, we can be turned around within 5 years. We can turn around the whole athletic world, all over the world. It won't take that long. Once you take the pledge, some people are not going to take it with sincerity, but that will be the ethic, the zeitgeist of what it is to be an athlete. You're not just an athlete, you're an honor athlete. Yes, exactly, Tracy, exactly. Big responsibility the coach has. They just think, winning is important, making money or just getting victory and getting the trophies. That's all important, very important. But honor is more important. At what cost? You want to maintain your honor, your dignity.
Dr. Nerenberg, it's Fernando.
Fernando, always good to hear from you, Fernando.
Thank you. I just wanted to share a little story. So I grew up playing soccer in high school, and I played every year that I went to high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And our school was brand new, so we were the first graduating class, and it was really difficult because we always were younger than the other teams. And our goal was to win a CIF title, and we made the final. My junior year, we lost in the final. my senior year, we lost in the semifinal, and I came back to coach, and I definitely experienced the sport in a different level. You know, I definitely saw the kind of what happens behind the scenes, a lot of work and a lot of just really a lot of preparation that goes into it, you know, to be able to coach players. And we made it pretty far that year as well, and we lost in the semis. And about this last weekend, actually, the women's soccer team from my high school won the first CIF championship. And they went on to win the division, and then they won the region, and then they won the state. And I just I had to experience it in person. So I took my nephew, we went, and it was just a good celebration. But I think a lot of what went into it is what you're talking about is the sport has evolved to where, you know, before it was a lot of overtraining and just working hard. And now a lot of it has to do with like the mental aspect and making sure there's good chemistry and good relationships between the players. And there's so many little details that now people are starting to realize that play a big effect on the sport and outcomes too. So thank you for adding the mental component to sports, which is a lot of times seen just as a physical thing, but there's so much mental that goes into it too.
You know, that thank you, Fernando. It's very good that to the extent you're liking your teammates, you have a good relationship with them, that's going to help the team effort. That's true. That's far from saying knowing how to lose with dignity and knowing how to win with dignity. That's not there yet. Now that can be done. You as a coach can bring that as an honor coach. Paul Tyrell today took the pledge to be an honor coach, the first one to actually take the pledge. So when I meet with you next time, if you want to take the pledge to be, any of you who want to be honor coaches, let me know. I'll administer the pledge. Yes, excellent. Thank you. Now, you know, when I say congratulations, you know, people say, well, that's wonderful, they won, congratulations. I think, I'll tell you what this makes me think of. My children might say, let's look at my baby girl, 27. She passed the bar. And people say, are you proud of her? She passed the bar? I said, no, I'm not proud of her. You proud she got her GED? No. What I'm proud is she failed the bar twice and passed the third time. I'm proud of that she stayed with it. She was able to come back from failure and win. I'm proud of that. The fact she passed, I'm relieved she passed. So I'm not really. They could say, well, you must be really proud of your daughter. I say, I'm proud of my daughter because she's very respectful and she's a good daughter. Then everything's added to that. If somebody's just achieving these things, victories or whatever, but they're not a respectful person to their parent, I'm not going to rejoice on it. If kid's a brat, what's to be happy about? So really, the real rejoicing is in the character, and then whatever they achieve is icing on the cake. That's really, honestly, heartfelt when I tell you that. Is there anybody else that would like to ask a question or make a comment?
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Nerenberg. This is Yoon Jong. I think this is my first class here now.
Welcome.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, in terms of honor, I guess I actually used to practice this martial art called Kendo. So in there, like, we would actually go against other people. Like, it'll be like a one-on-one kind of like a combat, I guess, setting. And yeah, like there, I feel like there maybe were some kind of similar lessons learned from that martial art as well, in terms of winning with honor as well as losing with honor.
Martial arts is the only one that I know of that has something that resembles that. Yes.
Yeah. So like there is a huge stress on absolutely no gloating and no, I guess, like gestures of like pride and just like, let's say you win, then you're not really out there and telling them like, I'm better than you. It's more of like a respect, as in, thank you for the match. It was a great experience, a great learning experience for me as well, even though I've won. This is a great learning experience for both of us. It is kind of like the mutual respect that they teach us to have for each other. The martial arts, I've always respected that in there. That's a great that's a great way. And yeah,
and it's the only sport that has it.
Sorry, what was that?
That's the only sport that has that. None of the other sports have it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I had from my understanding. I guess growing up, just doing that. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
No, I'm glad you did. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Excellent. That's already exists there. Now we're bringing it to all the sports through an honor athlete, an honor coach, an honor parent, the honor athlete. It's all there now. It's expanded. We've universalized it. Excellent, excellent. Thank you for bringing that up. Very relevant.
Of course, thank you.
Of course, there's that respect for the sensei. Yes, please. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It's Emily.
Emily, good to hear from you, Emily.
Hi. Yeah, I really liked what you shared. I really liked the part, I can't remember your words verbatim, but like the losing team saying, you've inspired us to come back stronger than ever.
Yes.
And the winning team.
Yes.
I really liked that mutual respect. And, whenever I hear things, I see how I try to see how they apply to life. I don't play any sports, but I live life. And, I was in sales, and it can be very cutthroat. And by nature, I'm not that way. So it's hard in life sometimes when, you're dealing with other people who don't carry that same mutual respect and staying true to who you are and living in honor. And I wanted to know if you had any advice when it comes to, wanting to be that and live in honor and still, maintaining that in those difficult times when other people aren't giving you the same respect.
Perfect. I've talked before. I have some video on remaining honorable around dishonorable people. Here's the point. You don't let them make you become dishonorable. You don't even let them take advantage of you or overpower you. Say, wait a minute, I'm talking to you with respect. I appreciate if you talk to me with respect. We don't want to enable them to be dishonorable. So we have an obligation to the other to help make sure they don't cross the line. People sometimes need help in not crossing a boundary. So we may have to be a little strong in our tone without becoming disrespectful. Hey, I've been respectful to you, right? I always go out, and I really appreciate if you be respectful to me. Let's have that understanding, okay? You don't just let them walk on you, so you've got to maintain that as best you can, and that sometimes has to be said that way. And what are they going to say? No, and if they want to escalate, say, if they escalate, say, no, you're escalating it. I'm asking you, please don't talk to me that way. I don't like it. I'm talking to you respectfully. And then whatever you have to do from there, file a complaint or whatever. But
yeah.
But that's, you can't let it slide. Maybe, because it'll eat you up later. You're going to feel humiliated, hurt, and a person's enabled. That person becomes like a bully. That's how bullies are made.
Yes.
You deal honorably, but don't allow them to corrupt you. Say, well, it's a dog eat dog world. I'm going to become a dog. No. You maintain being your dignity as a human being, your honor.
Yeah. And, in those situations where, you express it and then you're in an environment that's conducive to the toxic behavior. Furthermore, how you maintain sound mental health in those situations, because it can be very, challenging when you do live in honor and you are a good person.
Especially if it's your supervisor disrespecting you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even a coworker, in your case, it was a coworker, whatever. Yeah. And a lot of times the superiors won't step in because that person's a big producer, bringing a lot of business. So they say, okay, that person's going to do all these terrible things, so we don't care because we're making money on them.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's very, it's challenging to know that sometimes things work like that. And I guess that would be an opportunity to not that,
let me interrupt them, Emily. That's not the exception. That's the rule. There's abuse in the workplace. It might be good for a while, but eventually a new person comes in and they start leaning on people, or they become unjust, or they discriminate, or it's a personal thing where it happens. The abuse of power is rampant. The principle that's needed in business is fairness training. To deal fairly with the people. You can come down as hard as you want as long as it's fair. The person will say, I don't like the guy, I don't like what he said, but it's fair, or it's not unfair. They'll tolerate it. But no, a lot of this goes on is unfair. That goes on in the workplace. That goes on in the families. Goes on between nations. You have to find your way to make sure that you're honorable yourself and you don't let yourself remain a victim. Or you might be a victim of a little bit, and at some point you say, "Well, no, this is not going to continue like this. I'll leave the job. I'll find something else. I'll go in business myself. Whatever." Yeah.
And it's, I guess it's just, learning to step away and not let it, impact, your sense of
Emily,
well-being.
Everybody at work, any normal human being, if they're being disrespected, they go home and can't sleep about it. That's normal. Because then you go, I wish you well. Did I co-create this? You got to apply the commandments of honor. But that's not the exception. There's going to be somebody that's going to be doing this eventually. If not right now, not today, then tomorrow. So this is, I'm seeing all the beautiful people that come to me say, they're not only anxious and depressed and get panic attacks, but after a while people say, I'm not going to take it anymore. That's really why people leave. They say, it's crossed my threshold. I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore. And they go out on stress leave. I can't handle it anymore. As what people come, can't handle it anymore. They could work with depression and anxiety. That's not really disabled. What they reach a point where they say, that's enough. And I'm out. Yeah. Good point. I'm glad you asked that question, Emily. You always make good questions and good comments. Excellent.
Thank you, Dr. Nerenberg.
You're most welcome.
Hey, Coach. John Abramson here. It's my first meeting. How's it going?
Good to see you. I like that background, the Golden Gate Bridge. Nice background.
Appreciate that. I just want to, I really have a lot of respect for you, just your position, your age, everything that you've been through. I feel like you have a lot of knowledge to give, and I just appreciate you, and I'm glad to be here. And
John, thank you.
So I can relate to you in a lot of those aspects.
Well, John, I really appreciate that a lot. It means a lot to hear that from you. I'm not smart enough to come up with all this. It's really inspirations of the Holy Spirit. I just feel the promptings and my intentions to uplift people. It comes out of an intention and a receptivity to the Spirit and to reading the book of my own heart. These are not things I've read. Everything that I teach is not something I read in a book or from. At some point you go beyond your training in graduate school, whatever. All this is fresh, creative, and I've mixed with so many beautiful people like you and the others here, so that I speak to the people with your own voice into your heart, because I became you. So when I speak to, a lot of times people hear this and say, gee, I feel like you're talking to me. It's exactly what I needed to hear. And because I've mixed myself with the people day after day, year in and year out, mixed myself until I became the people. And that's been a great privilege. What a privilege. What a beautiful experience it is to be with you. So when we have our sessions and I have the opportunity to get to know my people, what a privilege. Really. And I always tell my people, listen, I'm grateful for the money you pay me, but you're much more important than the money you pay me. Way more important.
Right.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, John. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah. No, thank you.
Anybody else have anything you want to say or ask?
I do, Dr. Nerenberg.
Yes, Tracy. Yes, Tracy.
I really like what Fernando had to say about, taking a different perspective on athletics as far as coaching, being an honor coach and an honor athlete. It totally is super important for a coach to be that leader for the athletes. Fernando reminded me of a time when my coach, he's a very honorable guy, very humble. He wanted us to just always, like you said.
Yeah,
like,
you were an
learn
elite
from
athlete runner in college. Yeah, you talked
Correct.
about that. Yes.
But this was in high school.
Oh,
This
high
was
school.
upon upon my building of, just learning everything. And we would see his way of coaching, and then when we would go compete, we would see other coaches. There was a one coach in specific from a rival school, and he would be yelling at the athletes. Like our coach would be like, "Come on, you got this. Relax, let's go. Like keep your chin up. Make sure you're looking forward." And he would be like, "Come on, let's go." The other coach would be, "Come on, let's go. Kick their asses." And he would be like that. And to where when it came the finals, our school won for the first time in 10 years. And that school, because that school was the school to be, that school, the girls and the guys, they were so burnt out by the coach, because their coach was really on them and would almost be like, you guys are like losers. And, his voice was even raspy from yelling so much. But from being an athlete and seeing the difference, like, I'm so thankful I have the coach that I have, who was so good to us.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're never going to forget that person.
Right.
You love that coach.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. That's how powerful that connection is.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine if they also had the tools of bringing honor in this way that we're talking now. Would that take it to another level?
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Fernando. I'm glad you made me think of that coach, because I feel sorry for the athletes that were, working under him. Were they really good? Yeah, they were, but they also had to deal with a lot of stress. And when it came to losing, they were very, very hurt.
That's it. They had no idea how to lose with dignity at all, not even close. They lost with shame.
Dr. Nerenberg, can I say one more thing?
Please do.
Fernando? Tracy, thank you. I think you bring up a great point, because the times that I played as well, we were lucky enough to have coaches that would, tell us to keep our head high and stuff, even when we lost, and kind of, go out with honor and things like that. So even when we did lose, it didn't seem like a failure. It felt like we got a good experience out of it. We learned from it as well. And it seemed like whatever we were doing, we were just kind of planting the seed, and then we always look forward to next year and things like that. So I think a lot of times people put too much pressure, and when somebody fails, and they feel like, that's the end of the world for them. But unfortunately, like, you have to see that you planted a seed, and maybe the next generation is going to do something else, and you are making a difference in people's lives. For example, in Tracy, she remembers her coach, and I remember my coaches, and
I remember mine,
and stuff like that. So it's more relationships you're building with people and friendships, and kind of learning how to be a better person as well. So thank you.
Athletics at school is very tremendous bonding and learning, and then bringing in the honor teachings in really will take it to another level. I mean, you had some good-hearted people, but this would give them the intellectual concepts of how to take it even higher. Excellent. Anybody else have
athletics? Oh, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Even with athletics, it's the same thing. It was just like, you get in there, you mess it up, you clean it up. Get in there, you mess it up, you clean it up.
That's it. And it's good to say, you guys lost. That's great. This is going to motivate us to train harder. We're going to come back. It's great that you lost. In fact, I'll tell you something. This is the truth. My daughter graduated with high honors at UC Berkeley, went to top law school at George Washington University, has no failures at all. When she failed the bar the first time and the second time, each time I said to her, I'm glad you failed. This is going to strengthen you. You actually needed some failure experience, young lady. I'm happy about it. She failed the second time. I said, and she really prepared like crazy the second time. First time she didn't. You failed. That's great, sweetheart. I love you. You failed. Listen, I had so many failures in my life. In fact, I made a video of it, The Power of Failure. And I said, I'm glad you're getting these failure experiences. That's wonderful. I'm actually happy about it. But the third time I knew it was her best shot. The third one was her best shot. And I was not proud of her passing. I was proud of her staying with it. But I was very relieved when she passed. In fact, I was the one that looked and said, "You passed." And I wept a little bit because there was a lot of tension over it. But so I was happy that she failed. This is a good time for failing, especially when you care about you say, this is going to make you stronger. And I would like the coach to have that. You guys lost today? That's good, because we're going to come back 100 times stronger from this. Let's do that. We're going to come back much, much stronger. And it's good for the coach to share their failures. Say, you know, I failed in my life. I lost this match. We lost this. I failed at this, that, and the other thing. Just strengthen me. This is good for you. There's nothing wrong with losing. It's how you deal with it, that you determine to get stronger from it. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. The road to success is paved with failure upon failure. They found in one study that multimillionaires went bankrupt 2 times. Went under 2 times the actual bankruptcy. That's part of that. That's part of the whole thing. Nothing wrong with getting knocked down, but you just get back up, dust yourself off, and keep going and move forward stronger. Nothing wrong with losing and getting knocked down. That could be good for you, not a problem. But you come back, and you come back strong. That's what it's about. Life will knock you down, whether it's in a sport or business or a job or relationship. You will get knocked down. You come back up, and you come back determined to come back strong. That's the key. Thanks for that, Tracy. Well, it's been my real privilege and my pleasure to present to you the Honor Coach, Honor Over Winning.